Another victory Monday as the Titans are officially 3-2 in this NFL season through 5 weeks after a 37-19 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. Live through from Wilson County Hyundai, Austin Stanley and Zach Bingham. Looking forward to have a good discussion. 3 big positives to take away from the Titans offense in that win yesterday. That's where we'll begin today's show. Then we'll ask you guys, what was the best thing to come out of that win yesterday over the Jags? Pretty much a cakewalk there after some initial conflict, and the Jags made a nice push towards the end, but an 18-point win over a division foe is always a good thing to feel. So we'll ask what's the best thing to come out of that. Then we'll flip it, ask what's the worst thing to come out of that win over the Jags, as there's some injuries, some other concerns. James Robinson has a big day. Overall, Trevor Lawrence put up some numbers and yards, but we'll ask that. And then I have what I think, Zach, is the missing piece with this Titans defense. So we'll discuss that. And it's a Monday, so we always end our Monday shows with bad sales job. So you missed the last 2 Mondays, so we'll bring it hard with a bad sales job.
Yeah,
We've
that's
been out
right.
for a little bit.
That's absolutely correct. We are going to have a great show here on this Monday. We got a lot to talk about as the Titans come off of a big win. And if you stayed up last night, the Bills, they look pretty good there in the AFC, beating the Chiefs last night on Sunday Night Football, a long Sunday Night Football game because of the delay. But we are broadcasting live on 4 different platforms, including Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. If you're on Twitter, retweet the broadcast for us. We need to pop up in your Twitter followers timeline. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. They'll hook you up there. We got great content going out there. And on Facebook, what's going on, Facebookers? More people will pile in over the next 5 to 10 minutes. As you guys do, please share the show. Sharing is caring. Caring is sharing. Let's get this party started on a Monday morning following a Titans win. Urban Meyer moves to 0-5. The landslide goes all the way down, especially with the conflicting things. I don't know if you heard that yesterday with Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer saying, hey, on that 4th and goal, he didn't feel comfortable with Trevor Lawrence doing a QB sneak. Trevor Lawrence says, I'm absolutely comfortable doing a QB sneak.
No, I did not hear about that.
Oh, yeah, there's some back and forth.
And also, what was Urban Meyer doing going for 2 instead of just making an 11-point game? 11 points, he has 2 scores. I don't know. But we'll talk about that. Let's get it going officially. Welcome in A to Z Sports, powered by BetMGM, live from Wilson County Hyundai. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us all over social media, including Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, where we go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time, as we are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network. Also, hit us up on Instagram and Twitch right there. Got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for our show, and they help out you guys. Renters Warehouse Nashville, the professional landlords in the area. Simply go to renterswarehouse.com to find out how much your home can rent for. Mandu, the Pulse of Fitness, 1 15-minute workout equals 5+ hours in the weight room. Mandu.com. Your first workout is free. Wilson County Hyundai, it's where we are today. Simply head to wilsoncountyhyundai.com to see all their inventory, or come check them out in Lebanon, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. And the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. So, Zach, I always start Mondays by asking you, did you wake up after sleeping on that game? Did you wake up feeling any differently than you did in the post-game show yesterday?
And I was going to flip the script because I'm more curious about you because of yesterday's post-game show. You weren't feeling that the win was good enough. I'm curious.
I said it was a flawed victory.
I'm curious to see if that has changed any. But, I think looking at it, they took care of business, as we talked about all day yesterday, 37-19. As I diagnosed a little bit more, I did see some good things that they can build on. But, and we'll talk about the best and the worst thing, but no, I think I feel the same. I think that they did a good job. Ryan Tannehill gave the check mark on Twitter, so it got his sign of approval. I feel the same that I did yesterday. There's some good things. 19 points to the Jags. It was a blowout win. They got points on the defensive side of the ball to begin, and that's always a positive. And they closed the game with an interception. So I feel the same.
the first 2 turnover or more multi-turnover game caused by the Titans defense. So that's a
They
good
covered
thing.
the spread.
They covered the
They
spread. which is
solidified
great.
your guaranteed
That was
win.
a great thing for me covering that spread as well. Yeah, definitely. And so Roderick says not Bills good though. And I think as I woke up this morning, I feel differently. I rewatched the entire first half and the Titans opening drive of the third quarter that made it 31-13, which effectively ended the game, right? But I feel like the reason why I was in such a sour mood about this game yesterday at Mill Creek Brewery is because, as Roderick says, wasn't Bills good. Like I am not.
They didn't play the Bills.
I know that. I'm not.
Well, then he doesn't.
Hold on. I was not judging that Titans performance based off of them beating the Jags. Similarly to how I felt about the Vols win over Bowling Green, where they won by 32 points, yet I was not happy with it. I am viewing the Titans and trying to watch these Titans games with them being on the level of the top of the AFC. And 3-2 in this weird year has already got them just one game away from being the top of the AFC. And the loss of the Jets, which also made me in a sour mood too, has kept them from being 4-1, which would have them tied atop the lead in the AFC. So I'm watching that game yesterday, knowing they're going to beat the Jags, but still thinking, well, this mistake that they made in this moment would have gotten them hurt or burned against a better opponent. And so I guess that's why I was still, maybe so sour about it. But I do have 3 positives, Zach, to take away from that game. The first one, and it's all from offense, all Titans offense. These 3 positives, all from the Titans offense. And I'll kind of start small and I'll work my way up. The first one is just a nugget that Taylor Lewan and Ben Jones each played every snap. That's a good thing, right? Because it seems like over the last couple of years, either one or the other is down on the field after the play.
Or a couple of games.
That's they're in and out of the lineup. But Lewan and Ben Jones played every snap on the offensive line yesterday. Now, Roger Saffold, who's between those two guys, left the game and did not come back with that. I believe this time Roger Saffold has a shoulder injury. So we'll continue to monitor that. But that is my first positive. Zach, what are your thoughts on that one?
I mean, I can't disagree. You always want Ben Jones, who can snap the football. We now understand how effective he is and how important that is. When a backup came in for Ben Jones, as you talk about coming in and out, bad snaps kill series makes it harder to win and stay in a game against a better opponent than the Jags. And Lewan, it takes games to build your confidence in your play coming off of the injury that he did.
Yes.
Yesterday, I believe, was a confidence builder. He had some bad plays.
Yeah. Well,
but staying in the game through it's stacking days, right?
Yeah,
it's the coaching
stacking
speed.
days, stacking wins, stacking all those good things, right? And now there was the play where Tannehill got smacked by Chason, which was the forward pass that at one point thought was called a fumble on the field, where Derrick Henry's pass protection impeded Lewan's ability to reach Chason, which I don't know who is going to get dinged for that when it comes to the grades, but I would ding that on Henry's pass protection more than Lewan. But there were a couple times that Lewan got beat. I thought Chason played really, really well yesterday for the Jags defense. So that's my first positive, right? My second positive is that for the first time this year, we got to see all of this wide receiver depth that Titans media, including me, were shining and glowing about all training camp long.
Didn't we get to see it against the Jets?
No. Marcus Johnson didn't play against the Jets.
But all the other guys did.
Right, but Marcus Johnson was the shining guy that came out of nowhere in training camp.
So I would say Johnson more than the depth. We'd seen the depth.
Well, but it's Johnson, Chester Rogers, and Josh Reynolds all being out there and making key plays. If you go, and I went back and watched it, Marcus Johnson had 3 big catches in that game. 2 of them that converted first downs on third down in the first half. And his third was the 20-yard catch early in that third quarter on that opening drive that sprung them forward for a touchdown. It helped them get the ball rolling, literally, on that opening drive of the third quarter. if you go back, Chester Rogers only had one catch yesterday, but it was a really important catch because it helped them get into field goal range at the end of the half to take it from a 21-13 lead to a 24-13 lead. And Josh Reynolds also didn't have a big productive day. And really, no wide receiver had a productive day because Tannehill only completed 14 passes. But Josh Reynolds moving in motion, a quick out for a catch and a first down to move the sticks in the first half on a scoring drive. I think you saw those three guys together. That's the wide receiver depth we're talking about. NWI and Cam Batson and Racey McMath, those guys are like 6, 7, 8 of your wide receiver depth. But the real depth behind Julio and AJ are Marcus Johnson, Chester Rogers, and Josh Reynolds, and you got to see it work yesterday.
So does it matter, as Nicholas says, it was against the Jags?
And again, that's what I was saying, is that yesterday in the postgame show, I was judging them against better opponent than the Jags, even though they beat the Jags by 18.
So that was on you.
That was on me. Like
you can't judge somebody against the team they didn't play.
Well, but I have the tendency, as I watch football, I had the tendency that of grading the team that I cover, whether it's the Titans or the Vols, grading them not against their opponent, but grading them on against a better opponent. Remember,
that's not
right.
But that shouldn't happen.
But it's me holding them to a higher, especially when they're playing a lesser opponent. I want it to look clean. I want it to look dominant. I want it to look really good. I want style points. And a lot of times the Titans didn't have a lot of style points yesterday because of what happened with defense and going punt in the middle part of the second half.
All right, so is this optimism or a spin, the fact that these depth wide receivers are getting big playing time now early in the season, so you expect A.J. Brown not to be on a snap count anymore, Julio Jones to return? Will those guys even matter when the big dogs come back to eat?
They should, because you still need them. And the best thing about those other three guys, well, not necessarily Josh Reynolds, but Marcus Johnson and Chester Rogers help you on special teams too. So, and I think Josh Reynolds is finally getting into a groove, and I think will become a bigger factor on the offense side of the ball in key moments. I just like the fact that the Titans, when everybody's healthy, the Titans have 5 wide receivers they can count on to make a play on third and whatever to help them convert to keep the drive moving. Now, they've got 2 guys who are elite. They can make plays that other people can't, and that's Julio and AJ. And they absolutely have to have those guys for this offense and for the season to be maximized. But you've got those 3, Marcus Johnson, Chester Rogers, and Josh Reynolds, that really fill out the depth that doesn't really have that big of a drop-off when you're talking about the nuances throughout a game where in the third quarter, Julio or AJ can get a blow, and you're not going to have a huge drop-off in those moments.
All right, so that's 2. What was your third?
My third is that was the best game that Todd Downing has called thus far as Titans offensive coordinator. And you can include the 3 preseason games too, but in now 8 games, including those 3 preseason games, that was by far the best job that Todd Downing has done. Again, some of the lull in the second half where they went punt after getting up 31-13. You don't like some of that. The pass protection still breaks down. The Jags were really swarming Derrick Henry for a lot of that time too. That wasn't making it easy. But you saw some creativity and unpredictability from Todd Downing in his play calling. That was my biggest and by far the biggest positive of that game yesterday.
Well, we'll see if they can parlay that into good coaching performances against Buffalo and Kansas City the next 2 weeks.
Right. So let's go ahead and ask this question to you guys. What was the best thing to come out of that win over the Jags by the Titans yesterday? What was the best thing to come out of that Titans 37-19 win over the Jags yesterday? But Zach, talk about where we're at this morning.
Well, right below the screen, you can see Wilson County Hyundai. This is one of my favorite places to be. They're a great presenting sponsor here on the show. Right in front of me, I can see Elantras, I can see Sonatas, I can see Santa Fe's. They've got you covered right here at Wilson County Hyundai. Test drive one today. Before you come out here, you can also look at their inventory on WilsonCountyHyundai.com. That's WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Also, don't forget, we're both rocking the shirts. That was not planned, but we're both rocking the BetMGM shirts this morning. Make sure you go check out the BetMGM app. Download it today and tonight, Zach, because there's a game tonight, right? Tonight, Today, use the code ATOZ200. That's ATOZ200. And with your first deposit, all you got to do, make a $10 bet on tonight's game. Doesn't matter what it is. Money line, spread, total, doesn't matter. Gate, player prop. A $10 bet tonight on the game wins you $200 when either team scores a touchdown. Somebody's going to score a touchdown. So that's ATOZ200 for a $10 wager tonight to win you $200 when either team scores a touchdown. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older, must be present in Tennessee. And for gambling problem support, call the Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789. So, Zach, what are the people saying when we're asked the question of the best thing to come out of that win yesterday?
Tighten Up Ohio says Kevin Byard finally showing up. Caleb Farley from Dre saying that he got into the game. Harold Landry coming off the edge from Jared. Henry's performance from Van. Nothing. It's the Jags from K.
K is even more negative than I was yesterday.
I don't think so.
Yes, K says nothing.
That's kind of what you said yesterday.
That's not at all what I said
Yeah,
yesterday.
you went even more negative. You said that it was flawed. You
I
were more negative than K.
I still think it was a flawed.
Hey, that was yesterday. Today's
I'm
the news.
leading with positivity for me.
PVOs today. Positive vibes only. Getting the W, divisional win from Austin. Best day ever to win the game. Best thing is that, well, Nate, we won't even read that. Landry coming in. Austin, what do you think? What was the best thing from yesterday's game, in your opinion?
It's absolutely Todd Downing. It's Todd Downing's play calling. It's what he was doing. And I didn't go in depth last segment in what I saw from him, but it was a clinic. The drive that he went down there for the Titans to answer the Jags. The Jags made it 14-13. Todd Downing takes the football, like an 8-play drive, 75 yards in 4 minutes, used a lot of different wrinkles that we haven't seen this offense use when it comes to Tannehill running, direct snap to Cam Batson. There was a fake toss reverse to Chester Rogers with Michael Pruitt leading the way that picked up 9 yards on first down. They kept the Jags off balance. And then it ended with Ryan Tannehill play action rollout scramble and hitting a wide open Michael Pruitt who walked in the end zone. That was Todd Downing's play calling on that drive, and then the drive to open up that third quarter that ended in Derrick Henry just human missiling into the end zone. The best 2 drives I think he's called all season, and they happen to be literally like 2 out of 3 drives. And I even liked what they did for the most part to get the field goal at the end of the half. So I really 3 drives in a row from Todd Downing that resulted in 17 points really ended that game. So I think the best thing was Todd Downing's play calling.
All right, I'm going to go on the other side of the football.
Okay.
Because at halftime, I referenced this, and they finished strong. We'll play a little quiz game.
Okay.
What was the worst thing about the Titans defense last year?
Pass rush.
Third down efficiency.
Oh, well, yeah.
There's a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of a trick question.
It was, yeah, fair. That's why I'm not going to kill you for it, because third down efficiency, statistically, that was the singular worst thing.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the Jags went 3 for 10 on third down.
Say that again.
3 for 10, 30%. You'll take that percentages every single day for the extended game. If you get 10 third down attempts and your defense only lets the Jags convert 3 of them, they were 1 for 3 on fourth down, and we all know the biggest fourth down they didn't get. That, I think, was the best part. And that is how you stay in games. You get the offense the football back. You get Derrick Henry the football back. So I'm going 3 for 10 on defense on third down. That's an improvement from last year.
Yeah. That's
they were
great.
like 70%.
That's great. Now I will say
it was 70% at one point.
I will say the Jags are really, really bad. Really, really bad.
Austin,
yes.
What is the number one thing to keep a bad team in a football game?
Oh, you don't let them continue plays.
Extending drive.
Continue drive. Absolutely.
So if you want a recipe to win, third downs on defense. That's your recipe. Forcing punts. You didn't watch any of the KC Bills game last night, but they referenced a unbelievable stat. The Bills so far, the Chiefs so far, early on this game, Chris Collinsworth said this. This is wild. The Chiefs had only had 9 fourth downs through 4 games.
That's insane. Insane.
So that tells you on one scale, and they'll face the Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs the next 2 weeks. That's my best of yesterday.
Yeah, everybody is on Facebook. Apparently, William Collins is a Cowboys fan who is taking over the Facebook chat. William, you're watching the wrong show. Just go watch our A to Z Sports Dallas show. Just search Dallas Cowboys A to Z Sports and go find that. Our guy Will Steele is talking about the Cowboys and how good they are.
Dude, what's his guy's name?
William Collins.
William, listen to me. Listen to me. Heed my instruction. You can watch us. I'm not telling you to go away. But if you're a Cowboys fan right now, go to YouTube and type in A to Z Sports Dallas. All right? There's a channel for you. We got like 12,000 followers over there. Will Steele, the host of that show, he is awesome. He will talk Cowboys till your heart desires, okay? So if you want to talk Titans, stay here. Titans, Jags, Bills.
William says that Ryan Tannehill is his fantasy quarterback, which I'm sure he's bummed because Ryan Tannehill's only thrown 6 touchdown passes all year. Now he's ran for 1, but I'm sure William's bummed of the lack of touchdowns that he's had on there. Roderick knows him. He apparently, so he lives in Dallas. So go check out A to Z Sports Dallas there for you, William, after you get your fantasy football fix. So anyway, all right, we're going to talk about we're going to move on to our next topic, but I do want to tease this out. This morning, Zach, I counted up 7 NFL benchmarks that Derrick Henry is either going to break a record or join a group of Hall of Famers. He is on pace to break either 7 NFL records or to join NFL Hall of Famers. He's on pace for it. So that article is going to come out at A2Zsports.com later on this morning. So check on that real quick.
It's crazy. Last year was his best year.
Yes.
And he's following up this year even better.
Yes. Yes. So he's on pace for a combination of NFL records or joining Hall of Famers. 7 different things that I've added up this morning. And our guy Adam is working on that article for A to Z Sports later on. And Lokilo says, most stiff arms in an NFL career. No, that's not that might be the 8th one. That might be the 8th wonder of Derrick Henry right there. So check that out, A2Zsports.com/Nashville after the show today about Derrick Henry and what he's on pace to achieve this season. But Zach, we've talked about the best. Now we got to talk about the worst. What was the worst thing to come out of the Titans win over the Jags? What was the worst thing to come out of the Titans win over the Jags? But real quick, let me tell everybody about our friends at the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Whenever you get hurt in life, make sure you know who to go to, you know who to trust. That's the dozen-plus doctors at the Bone and Joint Institute and their rehab team to help you get back on track, get back to full health. Again, boneandjointtn.org. They streamline the process for you, make it easy on you because you're dealing with the injury. Again, boneandjointtn.org.
I want to thank BetMGM last night because I had 2 bets, Austin. I told you about one of them.
I don't even remember.
I had $117 on the first half Bills over.
Right. That's right. Did you get it?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Cha-ching.
Also, I doubled down on the Bills last night because I had plus 140 over 2.5. Josh Allen thrown touchdowns. He had 3. BetMGM. They'll hook you up just like they hooked me up last night. It is fun. Code ATOZ Sports. They've got you covered. Download the app today.
All right. So what is the worst thing to take away from that game yesterday? So I'm going to read some comments here, and then we'll expand on a lot. A lot of people are saying Fulton being injured. Yeah, BMO says that as well. Sacks on Ryan Tannehill again. He was only sacked 3 times, which saying that Ryan Tannehill was only sacked 3 times is exactly the issue because he was getting hit quite a bit. Ryan says tackling. Tackling was really, really poor. I mean, there was that play that Chenault had where at one point the screenshot that went around the internet looked like a scene from a Jackie Chan movie where Jackie Chan's surrounded by 4 bad guys and then just kicks all of them and then gets out of it. That's what Laviska Shenault did. All 4 Titans just whiffed on that, and he continued to run down the field. Tackling was bad. Injuries continue to be an issue. Run defense is leaky from Chris. Rooney says Tannehill getting hammered. Zach, what was your worst thing that that you see out of that game?
Well, you actually
did I say? Read it.
You said earlier you actually did what the worst thing was. When did you stop watching the game? You said you went back
today?
And you rewatched the game.
Yeah.
But you didn't watch the entire game.
Well,
I ran
out of time.
Well, you watched what?
The first half and the first drive for the Titans in the third quarter. And then I had to move on.
You stopped. Well, you stopped at the right time.
Well, because I had a Todd Downing project that I was working on.
No. You stopped at the right time because
that's when it got bad.
That's when it got bad. That's what the worst thing was. The 3 punts. Punt. Touchdown, punt, touchdown. The worst thing were the 3 drives that they couldn't get anything going against the Jags in the second half. Now, luckily, they didn't need to because they made plays on defense. But punt, that was the worst thing from yesterday's game.
Yeah, and I as I went back and because I did go look at the play-by-play of what happened, because Ryan Tannehill only had 20 yards passing after that opening drive in the third quarter.
Yeah, well, 7 plays punt, 3 plays punt, 5 plays punt.
And what they were doing is just running the clock out. They were just running the ball, trying to
I'm curious. Out of the 7 plays, Derrick Henry run. Oh, so 2 out of the 7. So they
did throw the ball. I guess it was incomplete.
They
passes.
Attempted to throw the ball.
So, but that was a lot of. I think you have to give credit to the Jags of playing aggressive on defense, even down that much. And the Jags offense gave them some opportunistic chances because they went back and made it got another touchdown. Shouldn't have gone for 2, but they did.
And they went for it on 4th down in that drive. 4th and 2. It was the 4th and 2 that Tannehill scrambled to the right side got.
Yeah.
So they almost went 3 and out.
Oh, yeah.
So those 3 drives were the worst part of the game. I've seen a lot of Rashaan Evans, Fulton not playing up and down, but that's my opinion.
I think there's a couple things. If Christian Fulton's injury is significant, then that is going to be the worst thing that comes out of this. But we don't know that yet, and my gut tells me we're not going to know that until Wednesday, and I'm not expecting him to practice on Wednesday, but they need him Monday night against the Bills because Josh Allen and that Bills offense is really damn good. But I'm not going to go that answer because I don't know the answer to it. I don't know the significance of his injury, so I'm going to say Rashaan Evans. Rashaan Evans is not a good football player anymore. I don't know.
He's not first round talent.
I don't think Rashaan Evans is a liability. And he's not because he doesn't have the ability. He is just playing lost. I don't know if he knows what to do or he's just playing undisciplined.
I think that's it. He
guesses, which tells me that he doesn't know what to do and he's playing undisciplined.
And I'm not comparing at all because it's completely unfair. Luke Kuechly and Brian Urlacher, they didn't guess. They had intuition. They were smart. Luke Kuechly knew what the play was, right? Those are great linebackers. And Patrick Willis was the same way. Rashaan Evans doesn't have that intuition, it doesn't seem like.
He is constantly not where the ball is. I don't think he has the instincts to play at this level. And when you look back on what Rashaan Evans was, John Robinson likes drafting productive players out of college. Rashaan Evans was a 1-year starter at Alabama at linebacker. He did not have as much production as John Robinson had gone with his previous high picks. And so that was a risk. He's just not any good at being there outside of a short yardage situation where he knows they're going to run at him and he just gets to go butt his head in it. That's the only spot that Rashaan Evans is good at. And that play where James Robinson ran 58 yards, I've watched that play.
You're right on that production because if you look at all of them, Isaiah Wilson had production. Corey Davis and Dory Jackson both had production.
Dory Jackson was a Thorpe Award winner, and Corey Davis left college as the most productive wide receiver in his 4 years ever.
Jeffrey Simmons, very productive.
A.J. Brown, productive.
Yeah, I'm talking about first-round picks. Jack Conklin, very productive.
Yes. All of them high productivity in college, and Rashawn Evans
And
was a
Caleb
one-year starter.
Farley, I guess he would be kind of the one in question.
Caleb Farley and Rashawn Evans are, and that was a talent situation. And maybe, ironically, they were both drafted 22nd overall. So, we'll see how that plays out with Caleb Farley. But Rashawn Evans just isn't very good. And Jayon Brown is on injured reserve right now. David Long is a bright spot on the defense. Does David Long miss tackles? Yes. But David Long at least misses tackles while giving maximum effort. And David Long also makes plays. What's the last, true play that Rashawn Evans has made? Actually, the big-time play that Rashawn has made. Because there have not been many over the last couple of years.
New England playoff game on the AFC Championship.
And that's been a long time ago. Yeah, and on the goal line, right, where he makes all of his plays. That goal line stop from Rashawn Evans. But Rashawn Evans does not make that many plays. So Rashawn Evans is the worst non-injury thing to come out of that game.
I'm going to have to move this tent because if this wind blows over, it could go in the street and create a car.
So I don't. You guys,
do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree, and I know we've both been having a conversation while having mental thoughts about what's going on. We have our A to Z tent out here, and now as soon as Zach stands up, there is the wind chills out. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the wind all that much, but the wind has been whipping pretty strong. So Zach is going to go ahead and check out and lower the tent, and maybe it helps out with the wind a little bit because it was starting to dance. The tent was dancing across the parking lot here at Wilson County Hyundai, and so maybe lowering the tent will help out a good bit and not give it some wind stuff there. But we just want to protect our equipment out here from the sunshine. It's a beautiful day out here. But
I wouldn't try to protect the equipment. I was trying to protect.
The tent is there to protect the equipment.
If this tent goes in the street, there's going to be a 5-car.
Well, there's two things that could have happened. One, it would have hit a car here on Wilson County Hyundai, which also wouldn't have been good. And two, it could have gone into a very busy street right there here in Lebanon.
So I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
You saved
I'm
lives.
Batman. I'm Bruce Wayne. The people of Lebanon, I've come to save you. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, so back to the Rashawn Evans situation, because I did see somebody say they need to put Rashawn Evans on the edge. I mean, honestly, I think that's if the Titans had Jayon Brown healthy and if Monty Rice was more up to speed, I do think that might be the best way to salvage the rest of the season for Rashawn Evans. Because you want to put him in a place to be productive and to have a positive impact. Because right now he's having a negative impact more often than he is having a positive impact. They're not going to re-sign him. That's clear. But I don't think they don't want to have him hurt their defense throughout the season.
No, I mean, he has to maintain and not hurt their defense in the big games down the stretch.
And Rashid says if Jayon Brown could stay healthy, they don't need Rashawn Evans. Well, but you're also out you don't have Jayon Brown for a minimum of 2 more weeks. So you're not going to have Jayon against the Bills or the Chiefs. That's kind of a bummer because he has a sprained MCL, which Buck reported last week on our website, A2Zsports.com, a sprained MCL for Jayon Brown right now. So you don't have the ability to move Rashawn Evans away from his inside linebacker spot because they have no depth because Monty Rice also got banged up in that game yesterday.
All right, so I'm curious to hear about this. What's the missing piece in the Titans defense right now?
Yep,
You had that, and so I thought you were going to say something that had to do with Rashawn Evans, but you've already said Rashawn Evans.
Rashawn Evans
this is something different.
Piece. Yeah, it is something different. So I'm teasing you with my missing piece for the Titans defense, and we want to get your guys' input on this as well. But real quick, let me tell you guys about Renters Warehouse, renterswarehouse.com. They're the professional landlords in the Nashville area. Simply head to renterswarehouse.com to find out how much your home can rent for. So many different ways they can help you out. Create extra cash flow for you and your family by not selling your home and investing in Rent Estate. Rent Estate will help you get money every month, also help you have long-term equity, which means long-term wealth, which means retirement plan ready. And Renters Warehouse does all of the work. Simply go to renterswarehouse.com. They manage your property for a low monthly rate, and all you do is receive the money. They'll even collect it and then just put it in your bank account. Mailbox money every month at renterswarehouse.com.
Speaking of money, BetMGM's hooking you guys up tonight. ATOZ 200. $10 bet wins $200 when either team scores a touchdown. Cannot beat that. BetMGM ATOZ 200 tonight. Use that promo code.
All right, so the missing piece of the Titans defense that could be the overall difference maker. And I think there's two directions that you could answer the question that we've posed to you guys is what is the missing piece in the Titans defense? One of them could be Amani Hooker. And I do think Amani Hooker is definitely a better safety than Dane Cruikshank, who did not play well yesterday and tweeted about how he didn't play well yesterday, which I'm not going to bash Dane Cruikshank for tweeting about not playing well because he's not like Hill Lawan, who's done it 5 other times in his career. That's the first time I've seen Dane Cruikshank tweet. But Dane Cruikshank is not a starting safety in this league. And he's a good special teams, good depth guy, whatever. But the missing piece, Zach, is a healthy Bud Dupree. And if they have a healthy Bud Dupree, I think the sacks start to rack up for the Titans defense. And not just because Bud Dupree can come in here and get 10 sacks in a season like he's done with the Steelers in the past, but it's just to complement the entire rush. We've talked about the Titans against quarterbacks like Murray, Russell Wilson, Zach Wilson, of rushing like a fishing net, right? Like you have to catch them in a net from all angles. And right now, there's a big hole in the net on one side because Landry is doing his job. Harold Landry had 2 sacks yesterday, and I don't know how many other times he got to Trevor Lawrence and impacted the throw or hit Lawrence. Jeffrey Simmons was unblockable yesterday. And because I went back and watched, right? I see that big red sleeve knifing through the Jags O-line at Trevor Lawrence so many different times in the run game and the pass game. The missing piece is that other side of the net has a hole in it. Ola Adeni is a good story and can be a good pass rush specialist in key situations, but he's not a starter. They don't have anybody else because Roberson's hurt, Rashad Weaver broke his leg, and Bud Dupree's out. John Simon came back, but John Simon's not the guy either. The missing piece is Bud Dupree. And when Bud Dupree is fully back from his ACL rehab, this Titans defense will be so much better because now you don't feel the impact of not having Amani Hooker back there as much. You don't feel the impact of Jackrabbit Jenkins not playing great right now. You don't feel the impact of Elijah Molden and Chris Jackson not being perfect in the slot because they're getting after it from all different angles. Bud Dupree is the missing piece of the defense.
And he has to be 100% though, because he plays at 100%. Right? So if you're not 100%, it's tough for Bud Dupree.
But he
doesn't have an off switch. But that's what makes him so good.
But it's literally not reasonable for him to be 100% this year. Like, there's no chance he's going to be at 100%. At this point in the season.
I think because of his setback, you're probably correct.
But can he get to 90?
But he plays at 100.
I know that, but can he get to 90? And is that 90? Like, my phone is old. My 100% is really 83% on my battery, right? Like, what is Bud Dupree's new 100%?
No, now that the 13's out, it's probably 73.
I haven't updated it yet for that reason. So what is Bud Dupree's new 100%? Is it 83% like my phone battery, or is it 90? What is it? Because they need whatever that number is this season because he completes the defense.
They definitely need him back. And I think if they get him back at the right time, this defense can really put something together.
Yeah. Because, Rashawn Evans is an issue like we just talked about. Kevin Byard played phenomenal yesterday.
Corner depth is a concern. I agree with you. I'm not going to disagree. That's my answer to the question. Corner depth is concerning because the really good teams, like let's just say the Browns, I know they lost yesterday, but the Browns, the Bills, and the Chiefs, those are teams that you have to have good cornerback play because they'll kill you.
But what helps good cornerback or what helps decent cornerback play be better?
Pass rush.
And not allowing the quarterback to extend the play because it doesn't matter how good your corners are. If you've got Kyler Murray running around back there, you're going to get burned. Josh Allen and Mahomes can do that too. And they're going to get burned because their corners cannot cover for 7 seconds. And so you've got to be able to finish the pass rush. The pass rush is so much more improved than it was a year ago, but they're having issues finishing it because there's a gap on Bud Dupree's side.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely need him back, and I'd be curious to see what this defense looks like when he does return.
Yeah, Titans Rossi back on the show today. How about that? But I agree with him. 90% Bud Dupree will attract double teams at times. Just that alone makes the whole defense better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Game plan awareness. And that means that you have to game plan against Bud Dupree. The backups of Bud Dupree, you don't have to game plan against. Even Jadeveon Clowney last year, you had to game plan against when he was healthy.
Yeah, I mean, you had to at least acknowledge where he was. Like, you had to acknowledge there's Clowney right there. Like, 48's right there, 58's over here. You have to be aware of those guys.
Where the hell's 98?
And then Jeffrey Simmons, again. And then guess who else plays really well, too? Danico Autry and T.R. Tart, who credit to T.R. Tart for blowing up the 4th and goal play to get James Robinson or whoever the running back was on that play back for a loss. Like, Bud Dupree makes everything complete on that front. And he helps everybody else behind him. Like, it's like I really think they're like this close. They're Bud Dupree healthy away from being pretty damn good defense. Because without Bud Dupree, everything else kind of crumbles.
We'll see how he progresses this week.
Pop-Tart, that's right. Dom says, did y'all forget Dupree had played already this year and didn't attract double teams and didn't have any sacks? What are y'all talking about? Yeah, but Bud Dupree, said he came back too early. So now we're looking. Last week he said he came back too early. Now we're looking at that and acknowledging what we saw in the first game. And he did make an impact play. Like, if you remember in the Seahawks game, when the Titans were trying to complete that comeback on 3rd and passing, Bud Dupree forced Russell Wilson to get rid of the ball before he was ready. That led to an incompletion, that led to a Seahawks punt, that led to a Titans touchdown to complete the comeback in overtime. Like, so Bud Dupree can still make a play. Bud Dupree was moving Kyler Murray out of the pocket in week 1, but he wasn't able to finish because he wasn't ready. And so I do think Bud Dupree can play well because I thought he played pretty well in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, this defense is going to play well against Buffalo on Monday night. That's a premier game. I cannot wait. Buffalo coming off a big win against Kansas City in KC. Now they got to go on the road to Tennessee on Monday night. That is a game, Bills fans will travel, but maybe not as many because it is on a Monday night. So Titans get the benefit of maybe some more home crowd.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that. I don't think Buffalo fans care.
I don't think so either.
Like, that's like, I like the thought process, but I also don't
think.
I feel like that's something I would say, and you'd be like, no, it doesn't matter.
It will cut down a little bit, but Buffalo fans travel.
I don't think it matters. I think they're going to be all over the place. I mean, there's Bills fans in Nashville too. I honestly don't think it matters. Josh says Landry is emerging as a star pass rusher. If you get Bud Dupree back, that's a really good combo with Autry and Simmons inside, but the inside linebackers need to be better. I agree, Josh. And that's a big deal for Jayon Brown to get back healthy at some point. They're going to need Jayon Brown to play really good football late in this season. And so they need him back. And I know the report last week from Buck made every Titans fan in media scratch their head on why Jayon Brown was losing snaps instead of Rashaan Evans. But I guess that is what it is at this point. But Jayon Brown needs to be back. Intern Liz, I know a few Bills fans trying to fill the stands. Of course she does. Liz lives up there in Buffalo in that area. A to Z Sports here live on this Monday from Wilson County Hyundai. It is time for Bad Sales Job Monday. But first, let me tell you guys about Mandu, the Pulse of Fitness. 1 15-minute workout equals 5+ hours in the weight room. Mandu.com. Your first workout is absolutely free. Go check it out. Mandu can help you achieve your fitness goals. Simply go to Mandu.com. Your first workout is free. And when you sign up and you tell them A to Z sent you, your first month, they'll take $100 off. Full body electronic muscle stimulation will help you build functional strength and muscle mass, target hard to burn body fat, and not put any stress on joints or pre-existing injuries. Mandu is for everybody. If you're in shape, if you're just getting started, if you're younger, if you're older, if you've got a bunch of bum joints, it doesn't matter. Mandu can help you. Mandu.com. Tell them A to Z sent you, and you'll get $100 taken off of your first month right there at Mandu.com.
BetMGM, they've got you hooked up. Promo code ATOZ Sports, ATOZ 200 today. You can get that promo. Download the app today in your app store, whether you use an iPhone, you're at 73%, or you use an Android. It doesn't matter. Download the app in the app store.
All right, time for the bad sales job segment. Zach, I will let you go first to me, and you have your clock ready or available? Because I know your phone is
I can get that.
All right, bad sales job. Do we know what our record is? Because you've missed 2 Mondays, and that's thinking back 3 weeks is a long time to think back.
I have 14.
Is it 14, 13, and 2?
I think so, because I think it was 13-13.
That sounds right.
Because I was on a losing streak.
Yeah. I won like 3 in a row.
And then I won the last
one. Yeah. I think that sounds right to me.
I'm trying to get to 15.
Today.
Yeah.
Yes, and we have the new rule that once we count 20 votes, it's the fastest to 20, right?
To get to 20.
Fastest to 20, not 20 total votes. Fastest to 20 vote. Yes. Okay, so bad sales job.
I'm pulling out the big guns.
Oh,
today.
Of course you are. You always do.
You have to convince us and sell us that in just 3 short weeks, you will be able to bench press more than Jeffrey Simmons. In 3 short weeks, you have to convince us that you will be able to bench press more than Jeffrey Simmons. And just to give a number, coming out of Mississippi State, the 300, let's see, I don't know what his weight is, but it says that he could squat more than 600. He carries just 15% body fat.
God, it's insane.
Is 300 pounds and can bench 450 pounds. I told you I was going to bring the big guns out today. On your go, convince us in 3 weeks you can bench more than Jeffrey Simmons.
All right, I'm not starting yet. I'm just going to revel in the fact that Jeffrey Simmons at 300 pounds is 15% body fat. It's just ridiculous. Oh, my God. That's insane.
That was in college.
Which he's probably gotten even leaner.
Because
he's now you're paid to do it. Oh, okay. God dang. I got to bench more than 450, which is what Jeffrey Simmons put up in college in 3 weeks. And honestly, there's no other way to do it but cheat. I got to use steroids. I got to cycle up. I've got to do everything I possibly can. I got to inject right into the butt. Give me all the steroids you got. Then I need all my other supplements too. I need sleep. I need recovery. I need everything. Protein on protein all day long, like triple the amount of protein, and just do push-ups on the hour every hour, nonstop for 3 weeks, plus the roid. That'll get me there.
Stop. Wasn't bad. The 3 weeks was a strategy by me because steroids is definitely where you're going to go and takes a little bit longer, but valiant effort.
All right. I like that. That was funny. Zach, you have to sell me on why the Tennessee Ole Miss game is going to combine for under 44 points. Sell us on why the Tennessee Ole Miss game will combine for under 44 points, which, by the way, the total opened at 85.5 yesterday. And you're going to be there. But why the Tennessee Ole Miss game will combine for under 44 points? I'm getting my clock ready. Ready when you are. I love the total eclipse from the in the background as you're thinking.
You're going to love my answer, Austin, because it all sums up to Matt Corral. It's 6-pick day, part 2. Matt Corral throws 6 interceptions. Tennessee holds strong, and the electricity of the Vols Nation within Neyland, that's what tempers it. It's such a blowout. Plumlee comes in the game. They pull Corral, or injury happens, and Plumlee can't put up points. It's under 42-0 Tennessee.
And you said that right as it hit 30 seconds. 42-0 Tennessee. Oh, man. All right. Who won bad sales job? All you got to do is comment Austin or Zach. Austin or Zach, who won bad sales job? Me saying that I could bench press more than Jeffrey Simmons in 3 weeks, or Zach selling us on a 42-0 win by Tennessee. Frank says me, so that's the first vote to come in. I'm going to wait and let them pile in. Okay. Zach makes it 1-1, 2-1 Zach. Hold on. I got to start over because they are flying in all at once. All right. So starting over. Frank has me up 1-0. Steven makes it 1-1, 2-1 me, 2-2, 3-2 Zach. Let's see. 3-3. 4-3 me, 5-3 me, 6-3 me, 7-3 me, 7-4 me, 8-4 me.
Runaway. I think
9, 10, 11, 12. 12-5, 12-6. Danny's docking me because I didn't say Mandu. That's a very legitimate dock in points there. 13-6. 13-7, 14-7. I mean, we need 6 more me's before Zach, the back door is open for that total.
I don't think it's going to happen.
You don't think it's going to happen? Yeah, I think I won it. So 14, 2.
The problem is the steroid cycles can't work in 3 weeks.
You don't know that?
Yes.
Have you done it before? You know from experience, dude?
Yeah, I know people that have done it, and in 3 weeks, that it cannot happen.
Well, I mean, I sold them.
Hey, fair.
That's the bad sales job. You said that 0 points for Ole Miss after they just scored 52.
Matt Corral, pick 6.
It doesn't matter. They can sleepwalk and score 7.
I can't wait for that game, though.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Lucas says, Austin. See, I didn't want to use Mandu in the same sentence as steroids. That was my whole philosophy of why I didn't go Mandu. But all right, guys, great show this morning. I thought that was a fun bad sales job segment from the both of us. Yeah, and you're right, Jerome. It's a bad sales job. Most of them aren't going to happen. Exactly. That's exactly the point. So I don't know. I would go over 44 for that game. But we'll see you guys tomorrow on a Tuesday. Come check them out. Wilson County Hyundai, WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Painbone and his team, they'll help you out. Find that right car. If they don't have it here, they'll go search for it and help you out, get you in the right vehicle right here in Lebanon. It's a great drive out here off I-40, exit 236. We'll see you tomorrow back in studio, WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Have a great rest of your Monday. Don't forget the Big Orange Podcast, A to Z Sports Podcast Network, out today. Buck Rising tonight, A to Z Sports Primetime, and also 7 things Derrick Henry is on pace to accomplish this season coming out here shortly on A to Z Sports.com/Nashville. We'll see you guys later on.
Adios.